Avengers: Infinity War has taken the box office by storm. Already one of the highest grossing films of all time, the beginning of the end of the MCU as we know it is a global success. And of course it is. With all of our favorites back on screen doing what they do best, there is a lot of magic in Marvel's latest superhero venture, and it's so much more than those Infinity Stones, even though they're pretty rad too. So really what I'm trying to say is, if you haven't seen it, what are you waiting for? And also, if you haven't seen it, beware of some spoilers up ahead, because if you did make it to the movies to catch the film, then it's time to discuss, because like me, you probably have so many thoughts and questions, but mostly, you've got theories about how it'll all come full circle in next year's follow-up. So let's break down the most popular, most talked about Avengers 4 fan theories, and some that are so wild they just might be true. Spoiler alert, everybody dies. Okay, that's a major exaggeration, but a lot of people seemingly turn to dust at the end of Avengers: Infinity War, posing one major question: where'd they go? Unsurprisingly, most theories stem from this very question that will definitely be answered next year. But for now, I think we can all agree that there's no way those who disappeared actually died, because there is about a 0% chance that Spider-Man and Black Panther are done in the MCU. That's pretty obvious. So again, where'd they go? Number one, everyone who disappeared is trapped in the Soul Stone. This popular fan theory, if true, could explain why the dearly departed left in such a strange way. There was no hard evidence that we were witnessing multiple deaths, because one by one, they turned to ash and peacefully floated away. Perhaps what we were actually seeing was their souls being transported into the Soul Stone. Now, this theory could also provide a really epic opportunity for Marvel to establish the new Avengers team, because whoever's trapped inside that stone would have to kick some major butt together to not only escape however you escape from inside of a stone, but also to destroy it. Number two, everyone who disappeared is on the ancestral plane. Another possibility about where the actual heck everyone disappeared to is the ancestral plane. Now, we first got introduced to it in Black Panther. Before assuming the role of king, the heir to the throne is transported to the ancestral plane, a place where those who have passed reside in their afterlives. Both T'Challa and Killmonger reunited with their fathers when they were transported to the ancestral plane in BP, and it might be the answer to where everybody will be discovered in Avengers 4. Because Wakanda was such a huge part of Infinity War, we could totally see a greater connection in next year's follow-up. It would also allow for a not-so-complicated rescue, because we already know that getting to the ancestral plane is totally possible. It would just be the whole getting out part that would be a little tricky. Wherever they're hanging out, the non-ashed Avengers are definitely going to have a lot to do with getting them back, which leads to our next totally possible, yet also totally heartbreaking fan theory. Number three, the OG Avengers will sacrifice themselves for the ones who disappeared. Like I said, heartbreaking, but sadly, this could actually happen. A lot of fans believe that the Soul for a Soul theme we saw play out in Infinity War with Gamora, RIP, may come back up in the next movie. But this time, we'd see the OG Avengers make the ultimate sacrifice to save the newer heroes, wherever they may be. It's important to note that, quote, "we don't trade lives" was mentioned twice in Infinity War. So while it's unlikely that we'll have to say goodbye to all of the original Avengers that didn't turn to ash, we wouldn't be completely shocked, or at all shocked really, if we end up bidding a sure-to-be emotional farewell to some of our first favorite Marvel superheroes next year in Avengers 4. But the possibility of the ultimate sacrifice doesn't end there. Number four, Peter will sacrifice himself for Gamora. Alright, let's be real. Nobody was expecting to see Gamora die in Infinity War, especially since there will be a Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. It was pretty much devastating, and only got more devastating when Peter discovered that the love of his life was gone thanks to that giant toe named Thanos. And while the scene in which she died provided Thanos with a rare moment of quite beautiful emotion, we're still pretty angry that he took her from the Guardians, and especially from Peter. Which is why some fans believe that Peter will sacrifice himself in order to give Gamora the chance to live. He obviously loves her, so many believe that we could see him finding a way to switch places with her. Now that would not only provide the perfect plot for Guardians 3, where they have to go and save Quill, but it might also be the answer to taking down Thanos. The only way Thanos was able to get the Soul Stone was in exchange for Gamora's life, because she was the only person he ever truly loved. So if the one person he loved is actually alive, then he wouldn't be able to have the Soul Stone. That was the deal, right? Now whoever survives will then be tasked with repairing the Avengers, and fans think there's only one man for the job. Number 5, Black Panther will take over as the leader of the new Avengers. Having the final Infinity War battle take place in Wakanda may hold even more significance than we realize. Many fans believe that Wakanda will be the new home of the Avengers headquarters, and Black Panther will emerge as the new leader of the group once all is said and done in Avengers 4. It's safe to say that we have all become more in love with Wakanda and the entire Black Panther storyline, so this would definitely be a welcome shift in the MCU. Number 6, Doctor Strange will officially join the Avengers. Like Black Panther, we also got to dive even deeper into Doctor Strange's character and how he connects with the other superheroes in Infinity War, and it was actually really cool. Plus, he is obviously absolutely imperative to the Thanos storyline, and I think that will only become more evident in next year's Avengers. So basically, he's the perfect newest addition to the Avengers. Practically every one of Strange's lines in Infinity War was so important. And let's not forget that he's got even higher stakes for the next movie now that he's got a time stone to retrieve, which leads us to our next fan theory. Number 7, Doctor Strange let Thanos win. One of the biggest question marks stemming from Infinity War was why Strange gave up the time stone. When he first agreed to go with Iron Man and Spider-Man, he made it very clear that if it came down to the stone or their lives, Strange would not give up the stone. So when he did, a lot of us were like, oh, he really cares. But what if it was all intentional? Leading up to his fight with Thanos, Doctor Strange reveals that he saw all the 14 million different ways the war with Thanos could play out. And out of those 14 million, there was only one way for the Avengers to defeat Thanos. So perhaps Strange giving up the stone was part of that one way to defeat him. This fan theory is further supported by the fact that he tells Tony, quote, "It was the only way," before he too disappeared into ash. Seems pretty possible to me. Number 8, previous villains will return. As if Thanos isn't enough of a pain in the butt, what chaos would ensue if villains from previous storylines return in Avengers 4? It's pretty much a guarantee that some sort of time travel will take place in Avengers 4. Now, the idea of time travel was also foreshadowed by the scene between Thanos and a young Gamora towards the end of the movie. I definitely think they were trying to tell us something there. Furthermore, Strange will have to get the stone back, and there'll definitely be a fight for that, so most likely, time's gonna get pretty messy. One fan theory has suggested that in the mess of all the time travel, previously defeated villains may return. If this happens, expect one hot mess of a full-out war, because Thanos would no longer be the Avengers' only threat. It's definitely a long shot, but then again, we wouldn't complain if Michael B. Jordan showed up as Killmonger again. Number 9, it all comes down to Captain Marvel, Ant-Man, and the Quantum Realm. Now, what if time travel is impossible? As the post-credits scene in Infinity War suggests, we're about to learn all about Brie Larson's Captain Marvel. The iconic comic book character is getting her own movie, and it's pretty obvious at this point that she will play a big role in taking down Thanos. But before we meet Captain Marvel, we'll go on a hilarious and entertaining adventure with Ant-Man and the Wasp. And by no coincidence at all, both the Ant-Man and Captain Marvel storylines involve the Quantum Realm. Quote, "a reality where all concepts of time and space become irrelevant." The Quantum Realm can only be accessed in two ways, by magic, as seen briefly in Doctor Strange, or by shrinking down to subatomic size. Ant-Man. It has now been confirmed that the Quantum Realm will definitely appear in Captain Marvel. How she accesses it remains to be seen, but clearly releasing both Ant-Man and Captain Marvel before Avengers 4 is Marvel strategically setting the key concepts for the finale. Because time is irrelevant in the Quantum Realm, it may actually allow our heroes to shift between timelines in a new sort of time travel. Obviously, we can't just time travel the old-fashioned way since we don't have the time stone to help in that department. Set photos from the set of Avengers 4 also support this fan theory, since we did see Chris Evans in his classic Cap suit back from the Battle of New York. It doesn't add up quite the way that we know it, but that could all change with a little time travel. Until next year, it's all theories, and now I want to know your theories for Avengers 4, so head down to the comments and share which of these that you agree with, and any that we didn't mention. And then you can click right over here to check out the Avengers cast, get matching tattoos. Thanks so much for tuning in to Clever. I'm Sinead DeFries, and I'll see you guys next time.